Hello, my name is Thuy Hang Lê. It's very nice to see you. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to present my result regarding the case of Dunlop Library Antiques, and I hope that you're gonna enjoy it. Before digging deeper into any analysis or recommendation for the case, I'm going to introduce you to Dunlop Library Antiques. It is a small antique shop owned by Bob Cohon. The owner was very passionate about antique items and culture since he was a child. He gained a lot of experience and knowledge regarding the antique industry as he's working as an auctioneer. He started running the stores since September 2001. The store locates in a very old building in southwestern Ontario near Kincardine, Kildare. As you look at this picture, there's also a lot of different items in the store, like from a small size items like pottery, picture frames to middle size and large size furnitures, a table, chair, and cupboard. And like the owner has a very amazing passion and as well as great customer service. So you're gonna have a great experience if you have time to drop by the store. I think that you noticed the store sales dropped significantly from 2016 to 2017, but it's not the unique case for the store because the whole antique industry is struggling. Besides their intense competition with modern furniture companies, there are other reasons leading to this struggling. Firstly is their open concept layout, in which like people to save space, they often combine like kitchen with living room, so the big furniture are not desirable anymore. Secondly, the interior designer who play important roles in helping the customer to choose the decorating style. Many of them prefer contemporary or modern designing style. And thirdly, you might know like minimalism trend in which the customer try to own as fewer things as possible, so they would try to be mindful about all the purchase, which makes the buying decision become very complicated, and it actually bad for all their business, not just antique industry. Finally, the antique industry has a cyclical characteristic, same as fashion industry, which means that, for example, like a certain item with a specific designs and materials are not very expensive at the moment, but in the future depends on many factors. It can go viral and draw the public attention and become valuable. So for every items, it's very hard for their business to evaluate its value at the moment. Let's take a look at the competition. The brand need to take into consideration their three biggest competitors. Firstly, a local store. These local store located in every small town in Ontario, and they have a loyal customer base. They provide similar products, service, and price range as DLA. However, DLA's, thanks to their large picker network that the owner has been building over the years, they has a larger collection of unique and exclusive items, which is an important factor in buying this in season for antique industry customer. Secondly, the online platforms such as eBay and heritage auction is gaining a lot of attention. They have a powerful technology and financial resource to reach a lot of customer. They able to provide customer with different product choice, price range, and even for some of them, the customer can buy them with lower price than in physical store. However, the weakness of these online platform is that they lack human interaction as well as the real observation of the products, so that which is an important element to many customer who love antique items. Besides, the third biggest customer is Furniture Corporation. They invest heavily in developing products, marketing activities, and provide additional benefits such as warranty, repair, delivery, online shopping. So it's very hard to beat these firms in mainstream demand. However, there's still opportunity for DLA in niche market in which like many customers seek their to be different from their mainstream, and they might react more positive to their customized marketing activity. Next, I'm going to talk briefly about the SWOT analysis. TLA locates in a very busy section where the economies and the population is growing quickly, indicating a potential sales growth. Besides, the owner has passion and deep understanding of antique items and culture, so he's able to provide great customer service and shopping experience for anyone who drop by. But the biggest competitive advantage of the brand is the pickers network, including people who go around the province and pick up the unique and exclusive items to create a very large collection for the brand in comparison with other local store. Beside the strength, there's other weakness that the store need to manage. For example, like the store hours depends completely on the owner availability because he's the only employee. It's only open in 4 months from 1st May to September because the building lack heat and water system. But the worst thing is that the store lack the online presence and marketing plan. In the last few years, the budget for marketing is zero, and it's mainly run a Facebook page and based on word of mouth to stay in business. The brand also doesn't have a shipping and delivery plan that's good enough to provide a good experience for customer. In the past, there are a few cases where customer received the item and it's already broken, which is very bad for the brand reputation and image. When we take a look at the opportunities, there's a lot of bad impact from minimalism to all the business, but it might not be the case for antique industry because minimalism is the ideology in which people follow it. We tend to have less possession and be mindful about their purchase, which means that they care more about the values behind their items, their simplicity, eco-friendly, and anti-consumerism. And the antique product can actually provide all of these values. And if we can communicate these values properly to minimalists, I believe that they can be a big target in the future. The biggest trust for the brand as well as the whole antique industry is that the future it depends completely on luck. Like if there's any culture or subculture in the future is gonna go viral that containing antique items and antique cultures. The consumer needs and want varies by the characteristic of the groups. For the dealers, they are the businessmen of antique industry. They share the similar experience, understanding, and knowledge with their DOS owner. And they tend to buy in high volume. They do it for their purpose of profitability or enlarge the collection of exclusive and unique antique items. So their buying decision process is going to be more complicated and need more attention at every stage of the way. For the casual buyer, they often range from 40 to 60 years old and they consider buying antique items as a hobby. They can distinguish the values of antique items with the modern and contemporary furnitures. However, they lack expert knowledge. For example, like about a certain design style or material or how to evaluate the real values of the products, but they take more interest in the story, the history behind their items, as well as they love the shopping experience. And many of them are tourists, which means that they only drop by the store once in a lifetime. The third group of customers are hipster. They are younger people ranging from like 25 to 30, 20 to 35 years old, and they are exploring the world, exploring themselves, trying to set them apart from the rest of the world, and they consider antique items as the way of setting them apart. For this group of people, they might care more about like small items in which they can bring with themselves, and it's a part of their identity to show the world that they are very different. So now I'm going to move on with strategic recommendation for the future's development of the brand. As I take a look at the whole antique industry as well as the difficulties for the brand, I believe that the biggest challenge is developing the public interest for antique industry. And the only solution for this is creating a subculture that make antique cultures and antique items become viral and draw the public attention. And the proof effective way to do this is creating a YouTube channel. By providing interesting content, we can attract new audience who are younger generation, educate them about like the characteristic of the industry, what is the special thing and the values behind the antique items and the antique cultures. And it's gonna be very beneficial for the brand image in the long term and makes their DLA become a very special symbol within the industry. But unfortunately, it's gonna take a lot of investment in terms of creativity, new ideas, and very long time to be effective and be successful. The second recommendation that I made for the brand is building a network of interior designer. The local interior designer may play an important part in driving the sales of the brand because through their interior designer, we can indirectly impact the choice of the customer in decorating their house by just sacrificing a small margin of profit, but we can reach a much larger amount of customer. The third recommendation that I made is that we should do online channels and paid advertising because the store is only open for 4 months. The rest of the time, the business still need to operate, and online channels is a very good choice. And Shopify's only take a small fee every month, like $79. It would provide a very friendly user interface and good experience for the customer and require very minimal technical experience that they so that their owner can use it very easily. But to be able to effectively selling online, we need also social media advertising. And Facebook and Instagram are the most popular advertising social media platforms. But when compared between Facebook and Instagram, I realized that the number of people who are the group age range from over 40 to 60 years old is more of Facebook user than Instagram because Instagram user are much younger. But our main target are casual buyer because hipster is just a very small fraction of the market, and we're not sure that how sustained they are or like if we our marketing strategy can really draw their attention. So we mainly focus on casual buyer and Facebook gonna be a good choice for us. Here are some prediction about how this recommendation might work for the brand. So the online platform would help the brand to promote effectively without geographical barriers. However, it might increase the total expense significantly. By you looking at this picture, you can see that even with 15% growth in sales in 2021, the net income before tax is still reduced $770 in comparison with 2017. But in the next 5 years, with this marketing plan and with this recommendation running, we expect that the sales maintain 10% to 15% growth every year and reach $87,000 in 2025. Without the online channels and advertising, we would only grow like 2.5% per year. So, in conclusion, it's a very profitable plan in long term. We already have strategy. Now let's come to tactical plan. To develop YouTube channel in the next 5 years, our goal is to reach 50,000 followers and become the most famous antique shop in Ontario. Our preparation for the process is firstly, the owner has to spend 3 months to learn an online course of video filming and editing. He also needs to do research of famous YouTube channel to see that what makes these YouTube channels so successful and attract younger generation and how to apply these things into our own YouTube channel. In the recommended main content for YouTube channel of DLA is like tips for customer to buy antique items without being misled by their owner, and exciting or horror or interesting story behind the products or the culture, the designing style, that each product represents. This is gonna be so exciting and beneficial for the brand in the long term. There's not a lot of other way to build up the network of interior designer. Here's just a few options. Firstly, their owner can contact with local designing agency and independent designers. And of course, before contacting, he have to have in mind some certain criteria of which determining which agency or which designer can be future long-term partners with the brand. And then he need to think of like what kind of relationship they should have, like how they should work to mutual benefit both sides. Secondly, he can also join the group of interior designer in Reddit, Meetup, Facebook, and Twitter. There's a lot of opportunity to meet many different interior designers. The third option is that he can work with local designing college and university to participate in their workshop to show his products to a very young designer, and or organize a few trip for designing student and professor to visit this shop. This way, the store can build up the connection with young designer at a very early stage when they still at school. For online sales and social media advertising, here's how the brand could do. Firstly, the owner can hire a graphic design student to make sure that all the posts on our social media platforms and on their online website is going to be beautiful. And their store should maintain online presence on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter all the time to communicate and reach to a lot of customers. But to save costs, the brand should only use paid advertising on Facebook. In the first year, we only focus on targeting casual buyer in Ontario, our main target. And from May to September, if the case is COVID-19 is already gone and tourists is coming back, we're going to use geofence to target tourists in the 10 most famous attractions in Ontario, such as Yorkdale Mall, Eaton Centre, and Niagara Falls. Our online channel will be Spotify and eBay, but for eBay we only use free service to save costs. Thank you so much for listening to me. This is the end of my presentation. I hope you have a nice day.